有趣的主播八卦、定期的抽奖福利以及爆笑的节奏和评论。关注 OFFSYDE 官方公众号，365天每天更新，让你与20万猛男一起更便捷的享受我和黄哥给大家带来的快乐。不要告诉别人哟。
Of the Starving Camels did well for himself, but has since left the Starving Camels and has joined Mystery Gaming. Was a big pickup for Mystery Gaming, and again, Cyan has been improving a lot over the past couple of months, over the past year of StarCraft. Not just Cyan, but players like Jeshi, Firefly, Cyan, the three of them, they've been all leveling up in the Chinese scene. And how does Rex compare? Yo, Rex, he's chilling. He's like, bring me the Protoss, papi. He's having a good time. No stress whatsoever. He is cool as a cucumber. But does Cyan like eating cucumbers? I mean, he was a camel. At one point, he was a camel, and we'll see. We'll see how this does turn out. I think I want to favor Cyan slightly, actually. Like, I feel like Cyan has been looking a little bit more impressive as of late, but Rex, like, he's a great friend, you know, he drops by the channel every now and then as well. I still want to be there supportive of Rex. I want to believe that he can bounce back, especially in a WTL format where you can come in prepared with builds for specific maps. Anything can happen. Upsets can and will occur. There were some upsets last night. We've been casting WTL 3 days in a row, and last night we had Cristiano pop off against Raynor, and again, many other upsets as well. I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. Here we go. Game 1, gonna be on Crimson Court. Is gonna be on Crimson Court. Well, just make sure everything is set up as we settle on in. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have Rex for Offside. And in the top right, we have his opponent, we have Cyan for Mystery Gaming. Here we go. And speaking of in the middle of the map, a shout out to the sponsors of WTL. Shout out to Doyu, shout out to Biu, Autoful, and SC Boy. Massive shout out to the lovely sponsors of WTL. Without them, this event would not be possible. Without them, we would not have World Team League, we would not have Kung Fu Cup, we would not have Masters Coliseum, we would not have Stars War 11 either. Again, they do so much for not just the Chinese scene, but for StarCraft in general. Much love. Much love. It feels a little bit weird. It feels like a little bit sad that we can't really support the sponsors much, like, because the sponsors are all, I believe, Chinese based. So since I imagine a lot of us are based outside of China, like, we can't really do much there. But you know, much love nonetheless. Much love. Well, gracias, papi, gracias. As we are settling in. For now, we do see Rex going for a Hatch Gas Pool standard opener from the side of Rex. From the offside of Rex, if you will. Meanwhile, across the map, Cyan going for a gate expand as well. Everything looking as it should for the time being. Nothing too wild, nothing too quirky yet. Cyan usually thrives in the mid game. Just bear that in mind when it comes to his play style here. So we shouldn't see anything crazy early on. When it comes to our tech of choice and even our follow-up tech of choice, that's what we have to be paying attention to Cyan. Moments as I do try to set up those commands. Here we go. But for now, we do see Rex scattering across the map with his Overlord. Can we just be confirming the setup, confirming the opener, making sure there's no 2-gate opener, for example? As we're easing our way into Crimson Court. Now, Crimson Court is an interesting one. We do have a center rich Vespene gas base that you can expand to early on as a third. We could take it later on as a fourth as well. But it is quite a valuable location, a valuable base to take, as you can see here that the Protoss player is checking and scouting. And if Rex did come in prepared, that base could be a factor. Speaking of being a factor, Here comes our first tech of choice. It is not a Stargate opener. Cyan, he's going for a Twilight Council. Oh boy, a much more aggressive start here from the Protoss. Now with a Twilight Council based opener, we can go for Glaive Adepts, we can go for a Dark Shrine, we can go for something crazy like a Charge based all-in, or something else a little bit more unorthodox. But for the most part, it should be either Glaives or Blink. Sorry, Glaives or DTs as the Overlord gets away. Oh my god, Cyan with the shake of the head. And Rex feeling pretty good. Again, we saw him leaning back earlier. Mate, nothing can get him. Or it's been a good day. Nothing can catch him off guard. Overlord does slip away. Cyan a little bit upset about that. Behind this, it is in fact going to be Glaives. We have additional gateways in production. If I'm not mistaken, I believe there's no Robo. I may have missed it, but I don't think there's a Robo out from Cyan, which means it's only going to be Adepts and two gateways on the way. The first one is already done. It's going to be 3 gated Adepts. This looks like a macro Glaive Adept build. And yeah, we're mining through the minerals. So what do I mean by a macro Glaive Adept build? Because we skipped the Robo, and because we did not throw down a 4th gateway, it's 3 gates, we have enough money for a 3rd base. We have enough money for a Nexus. So as you can see here, we're mining through those mineral patches, and we are going for the 3rd. Now, this means a couple of things. One, Cyan is moving out with Adepts, but there are going to be significantly less Adepts than normal, and there's no War Prison to reinforce. So there's a bit of a give and take here. On the one hand, Cyan can't do a lot of damage. On the other hand, he also has to be very careful to lose his Adepts. If the Adepts go down, then he's going to be in a little trouble. Rex, he's already mined through the minerals. Oh my god, Rex, he's ready for this. With the Overlord that survived, right? The Overlord lived. He saw the mining minerals already ahead of time with that Overlord that survived. And now he's ready to punish. Ready with these Lings Adepts they get across the map. Meanwhile, Rex, he dives on the 3rd base. And the Nexus is going to be denied. Not just that, can we get into the Natural? Not quite. The Natural is safe. The Adepts, they get across the map, but there's nothing to kill. The drones are forced back. Yeah, forced to back off. Adepts are surrounded, and we should force that cancel. More Adepts will bring it. We bust into the Natural. The Natural is being broken. We ignore the 3rd base. We head into the mineral line. Rex maybe being a little bit too ambitious there, a little bit too greedy. Does get us around with more Adepts. Can he get the Nexus? It's going to be close. Can he get the base? Oh, he cannot. The base, it's so low. It's so close to going down. But Rex barely does not break through. Oh, does not break through here. And we're in a really interesting position. On the one hand, Cyan didn't really do much damage, and he's getting into immortal production behind this. On the other side, though, Rex wasn't able to fully punish him. He was able to deny mining time and disrupt the build and cause chaos, that's true. But Rex, I'm sure, was hoping for more damage. And again, if he had killed that Nexus, that would have been insane. That would have been so good for him. Alas, instead, we're going to be easing our way into the mid-game, droning up, taking a 4th base. Likewise, Cyan also transitioning into his more immortal-heavy composition. Has not gone into Blink yet. Ooh, I'm loving the positioning with the Spine Crawler. Very nicely done. Rex, I'm loving the ingenuity here. I mean, again, for those who maybe, it's in my mind for a moment as well. Adepts, they cannot shade past a building, and Spine Crawlers, they can't. So he just walls off. He just walls off that location. So again, just really smart here out of Rex. Meanwhile, the rest of the Adepts have arrived. We're now into Ling Roach. We are going to be threatening the forward base. Roach is going toe-to-toe with the army. Roaches are going down, by the way. A rough trade from Rex. But he had to split up. He had to chase that shade. Ravager goes down. The Adepts shouldn't commit. We commit! Oh my god. We commit to the shade. Lings are in position. The drones are going to be able to evacuate. Yeah, very little economic damage is done, but we're chasing down those drones. We want them. Good target firing here by Cyan. Does get 3 drones. Shades into the main. Lings are lying in wait. Once again, more lost mining time as we attempt to shade on out. But as we shade away, we should be cleaned up, but not before we kill 7 more drones. This is adding up. 8 drones go down. With that, Cyan takes a worker lead. He's got 69 workers. Nice. Now up to 70. 70 probes here for Cyan. And remember, he's been building up Immortals this entire time. I think he's up to 4. I think he's got 4 Immortals. He's ready for a counterattack. Speaking of, Rex is going to try and push out. We have to break free. Rocks are being knocked down. Eventually, they will slowly falling. Rocks are knocked down. Rex rotating over towards it. That's a third. Gary's going to get filed down. We can see the Immortals having a really hard time engaging just because of the SimCity working against Cyan. This area getting quite congested. We do shut down all 3 gateways. Soon to be, all 3 gateways. Good force fields, you do cut off some of those roaches. Roaches are cut off. Shield batteries are finishing up. Bathers again into the mineral line. Late reaction to Cyan. 13 probes go down. Good damage done. And now we could even try to go for the Nexus. We're trading with the army. Overcharge is popped. The base getting low. The base goes down. That's all that Rex needed. He kills the 3rd and he backs off. Now Cyan does have a 4th, so he has a backup base, a backup 3rd essentially. But he lost a lot of probes. He lost a big chunk of his economy. Going for a counterattack. Now what's scary with this counterattack is that Cyan did keep all of his Immortals alive. He's got 4 Immortals with his army. That is quite a lot of DPS here on Roaches. So Rex has to take this seriously. Backing off, committing here still to Lingbane Roach Ravager. Almost gets a Stalker. Almost. Yeah, again, this trading point is brutal. Rex, he cannot engage, cannot push in. He's trying to though, but yeah, he's just going to be force fielded. Bleeding out some Lingbane. Rex forcing the issue though, does make his way through. And not an easy push, but he does collapse on top of the Immortals. 2 Immortals go down. And Rex, has he done it? There's 2 Immortals left. We're running out of Lingbane. The Ravagers are exposed. And Rex has to pull back. But honestly, that was a pretty good trade. Now, Rex, he may have lost a lot of Lingbane, but he killed 2 Immortals, and that was most likely worth it here. I would say that was worth it. The army of Cyan is crippled, and Rex is remaxing. He's rebuilding as we speak, getting to more Lingbane. He did retain most of his Ravagers. Not so much Roaches, but mostly Ravagers. And he does get eyes on the 4th. Now Lings are peeled off. Shield battery is finishing up. It's going to get filed down immediately. And we're going for the surround. We're running out of force fields. We're running out of energy. We collapse here on top of those Immortals. We focus them down. As we blink away, we expose said Immortals. And both of them fall. To pop the overcharge, we have to respect it. We are forced back. Yeah, that's a lot of Stalkers. We have run out of Lingbane. So once again, once we run out of that buffer, we have to respect the army. We have to retain these Ravagers. As I say that, 1, 2, 3 Ravagers going to get sniped in the retreat. Oh, these are expensive losses for Rex. That was 5 Ravagers going down. That was brutal. 6 Ravagers even. We also had some harass back at home. Very nice trades or very nice pickups there by Cyan. And again, even though the supplies are in favor of Rex, the suit does lie. It's inflated because of the Roach Ravager. The armies are actually far closer than they seem. So this is still on a knife's edge, especially considering that Cyan has re-expanded. He's back on 4 bases. Cyan has an even worker count. Cyan is actually ahead in the economy. Rex has been all in this entire time, essentially, and he's been needing to win the game, to end it, and he hasn't. Adepts harass across the map. They drag Rex back home. The longer this goes on, the better it is for Cyan as we shade in and more drones are going down. 6, 7 drones fall. Rex going for a counterattack, going for a run-by. Does break in. But we have a force field. Going for the Cybercore instead, but the overcharge does keep the Cybercore alive. War Prism. Ooh, does live. Barely. Barely does survive. Meanwhile, Rex, he's starting to fall behind. He's starting to fall behind here in the supplies. Things are getting worrisome. Now, thankfully, there's no splash damage. There's no Storm. There's no Archons. But regardless, Cyan has a pretty comparable army here. You can see Rex going for the mineral line. Quick reaction out of Cyan. He does pull away. He pulls back. So we have the ebb and flow of Ling Bane. Cyan pushing onto creep, or at least standing outside of it. On the edge. Spinecrawler does tank some shots. Good force fields. Very nice force fields. Rex bleeding out a lot at the same time. We do get in. 16 probes go down. Very nice counterattack. As Cyan was distracted with the force fields, with the main army. We bust through that mineral line. At the same time, though, drones are going down. Oof, we clean up the adepts. Cyan is pushing. Now, even though Cyan just lost a lot of his workers and a lot of his economy, the main army is terrifying. We're back up to 4 immortals, and that's a lot of stalkers. And stalkers, they do not go down easy. As we blink away, we do expose those immortals. They're getting low, but they're living. Good juggling here by Cyan. And for the first time in a long time, again, we're evening up the supplies. Cyan is getting ahead in army supply for the first time since almost the start of the game. Rex is in trouble. Rex is in a lot of trouble. As we mentioned before, Rex has been all in for quite some time, and he has not been killing his opponent. Rex now up against the wall, and did we lag out? We did. No. Oh, so it looks like the clean feed went down. Wow, it looks like the clean feed went down, and here we go. We're getting into game number 2. It looks like, I mean, the writing was on the wall there, but does go the way of the Protoss. In the top right, we have Cyan. In the bottom left, we have Rex. So it looks like, basically, as we cast from the clean feed, we cast from the clean feed, and it looks like the clean feed did drop. Because it dropped, we missed the end of that game. Did miss the end of that game. The writing was on the wall, and Cyan was getting further and further ahead, and it looks like Cyan did win. Unfortunately, we missed out on the end of that game. Again, it is unfortunate. Like, it was a great game to be had. It was very back and forth, but as we were saying, like, as the game progressed, it was just bleaker and bleaker for Rex, and now we're getting into game number 2 instead. We're getting into game 2. Cyan takes a lead in the series, and Rex, he's going for the gold. He's rushing into the gold base in game number 2. Again, I apologize, but there's nothing we can do in regards to seeing the end of that game. We don't have access to the replays. We are only casting from the clean feed. Sometimes the clean feed is not so clean. It's a little bit dirty sometimes. It's a little bit dirty sometimes, but it's okay. It's okay. We like it dirty. Oh no. Shaking my head. But hopefully the rest of the broadcast is, stable. Hopefully the rest of the broadcast is stable. As we do see Rex mainarding over, going to be saturating that gold. Now, typically, if we're rushing into the gold base here, it's on the Protoss to punish. The onus is now on Cyan to be aggressive and to punish this base, to punish that gold. But now Cyan going for a gate expand into Cybercore, standard opener from our Protoss player. Standard opener for the time being. As it's going to be a Robo for our tech of choice. Okay, not a Stargate, not a Twilight Council, but a Robo. Now, with a Robo-based opener, this, I think, is going to be Disruptors. It would make sense if this was going to be a Disruptor drop. The other thing that this could be, a build that has been permeating and rising from the ashes after a long hiatus, is an Immortal-based all-in. Is an Immortal Slow-Lot all-in, or a Soul Train-esque all-in as well. These all-ins have been popping up a lot as of late. I'm not sure why, but over the past month, we've seen a lot of Protoss players in Korea and in Southeast Asia embrace them. So it's just been trendy as of late. War Prisoners in production. Show us the bay. Do we throw down the bay, or do we throw down more gateways? More gates are on the way. This is not disruptors. Interesting. This is not disruptors. Yeah, 3 gates in total. I think this is the slow lot all in, right? So this should be for immortals and slow lots, or we can commit into more sentries and immortals. Regardless, it's going to be a 2-base all in. So 4 gateways, 2-base all in. Forge is on the way. Yeah, this is all coming together. Meanwhile, back at home, Rexy threw down an early Roach Warren. I believe that was around a 3-minute 50 or 3:45 Roach Warren timing. So very early on, very defensive. Immortal production has commenced, as we did mention. Immortals are on the way, so it is going to be, as we mentioned, regardless of whether it's going to be slow lots or charge lots, or even a Soul Trainer school in, like, it's going to be immortal based. And immortals are coming. Well, the Observer runs into the Spore. And that's odd. That's a Twilight Council. Huh. That I was not expecting. This is turning into like a bit of a Frankenstein of a build. There's like a little bit of everything here from Cyan. With the Twilight Council, are we crazy enough to go into DTs? Is that where we're headed, or do we just go for like delayed blink or delayed charge? Which would be wild. There it is, charge. Okay. So 2 more gateways in charge. Is that the 5th and 6th gateway? Yep, there we go. We have additional gateways on the way. I believe we're going up to 6 gates in total. No, my apologies. I believe that is 8 gates in total. Jesus. So it's going to be a 2-base 8-gate all-in with +1 in charge. Well, +1 charge and immortals. Okay. Now, again, Rex did throw down early tech, but as we can see, he did not need it this early on. So this is inefficient out of Rex. Did invest quite heavily into this Ling Roach, and he's getting ready for his own all-in. So, what happens when 2 players all-in each other? We're about to find out. Oh boy. As Rex again, he's still amassing more Ling Roach Ravager. Creep is spreading, denying that 3rd base. Who do I want to favor here? I think it depends on the Ravagers. How many Ravagers will Rex have? Because right now he's mainly Ling Roach. Ravagers will help out a lot. There we go. Sentries are coming in. Immortal charge lots. The train is coming. Overseer does confirm the gate count. That's a lot of gateways. Now we're pushing. Now we are all in. Rex, he throws out a Bailey Nest, but it might be too little too late. The Bailey Nest would have been ideal against this. Adepts shade in. Down with the army. Yeah, that's going to be, what, 5 sentries? Soon to be 7 sentries, by the way. It's going to be a lot of force fields. And we catch a Ravager. We spoke about it earlier. I was concerned about how few Ravagers there were. I think there's only 1. I'm getting deja vu. I've seen this before. But Lings, they get across the map. And we force a recall. Big moment here. Recall is forced. We get a kill on the goal base. But because of the recall, Rex is holding. Despite no Banelings, despite no Ravagers, Rexy is holding on. Forces back the army. Forced to expand elsewhere. Lings are trying to buy some time. Rex will have to back off. Roach speed is on the way. Should take another backup 3rd. Should be looking to take another base. As Cyan has yet to expand as well. He's reprobing, moving out. We're taking down that Overlord. He can now take his own 3rd as well. He's lying in wait. Yeah, we can see Cyan working on +2. He's setting up for a longer game. Ooh, supply blocking Rex. That's a big supply block. The Overlord just started. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, 2 Overlords on the way. Well, we have a pretty hefty Baneling count now. Like, that's a lot of Banelings. Charge lots, they cannot push into that. Not anymore. Rex is down in workers. Third base is now being taken. The onus is now on Rex to push out. Rex, he did not rebuild his third, by the way. He chose not to. Rex, he's all in. It's all or nothing for Rex. Cyan, can he hold? How good of the force field's going to be? Again, I'm concerned because of... It's still only one Ravager. Like, force field's going to be king. We have one Bile. How do we push in? Zealots get across the map. Wreaking a little bit of havoc. Yeah, Rex, he does turn back for a moment. Does morph in 2 more Ravagers, so it's going to be 3 Ravagers in total. It's better than before. But even then, 3 Ravagers, that's not a lot to work with. Shows the force fields. Bailey's from behind. Good force fields here from Cyan. Bile's going to be thrown down. The Baileys are shut down. We do get some decent connections on the Zealots at least. The Zealots are cleaned up. But again, the force fields, the positioning here a little bit too good. We had the overcharge as well, and Rex, he's running out of steam. Yeah, you saw him shake his head on cams there, or at least lean back. Not a good position for Rex. And Cyan going for the warp in into the main base. Rex being forced all the way back home. Now, best case scenario here for Rex, as we have to avoid a fight. This is not the place. Oh, brutal force fields. But I was going to say that, okay, so Rex, his hope here is maybe for Cyan to be too greedy. If Cyan, if he probes up too much, if he double expands, then maybe Rex can catch him off guard. Once again, force fields throwing down the Archons. They tank the Banelings. 1 Archon falls. Yeah, we're reinforcing. Cyan, he's not backing off. He's not slowing down. And Rex is in trouble. He is in a lot of trouble here. Again, it was a wild series, and game 1 was so close as well. Like, Rex was popping off. He was doing so well with his push, sniping bases, getting into mineral lines. But here, GG gets called. Cyan looking much more comfortable, and he will take the series 2-0. We'll start things off with a 2-0 lead for Mystery Gaming. GG. GG, well played. A solid start here for Mystery Gaming. A rough start there for OFFSYDE and for Rex. Again, game 1 was so close. Game 1 was so close. Rex, he was like on the brink of breaking Cyan so many times. Here in game number 2 was a little more chaotic, and Cyan, he was the one dictating the pace of the game instead. Rex had a hard time keeping up, and in the end, Rex just... It did feel like he was one step behind. The Ling run-by was solid. If you remember, the Ling run-by that forced the recall, that did keep Rex in the game. But I was expecting Rex to expand. If you remember, after that recall, Rex, he never expanded. He stayed on 2 bases. He forced himself all in. And with that, that's our first matchup in the books. And now we're getting ready for our second match of the series. Firefly versus Strange. Here we go. Firefly vs. Strange is going to be a PvP community, which I do appreciate. Strange, on the flip side, has also kind of been under the radar, but here we go. In the bottom right-hand corner, we have Firefly for OFFSYDE. And in the top left, we have Strange for Mystery Gaming. Let's go. But yeah, it feels like Strange has been under the radar of a lot of people, but when it comes to like the European Protoss scene, I do rate Strange quite highly there. I mean, I think I would place him maybe slightly below Geralt and Christiana. I think I would place them above Strange, but just under them, I think that's where I would put Strange. I think it's hard to say because there's a lot of European Protoss players, like a lot. Like this, it's a sea of Protoss there. But yeah, I think I would place Strange just below them, which is still quite impressive. And he has been able to have his own moments in WTL as well. And here we go. We do have Firefly opening up double gas. Okay. We have a 2-gate opener here from Strange. Should be 2-gate opener from Firefly as well. My eyes are on him because I still don't see a second gateway. Are we going double gas into a gate expand? Firefly. Let's go. Gateway is done. We're going for the Cyber Core. Okay, so it's going to be a gate, Cyber, into Stargate, into expansion. So Firefly is going for an economic opener. Firefly is being greedy, is being economic. Basically, this is the Max Packs build. The Max Packs opener is being whipped out by Firefly. We saw it a lot from Cristiano earlier today. Cristiano. Meanwhile, Strange is playing standard, going to gate. So it's going to be on Strange to punish Firefly. It's going to be on Strange to try to punish him. It's either we catch up economically or Strange is forced into an all-in. One or the other. And there we go. The Nexus has been thrown down. Ooh, that was Nexus before Stargate, by the way. A little bit greedy there from Firefly. Okay. Now, there should still be a Stargate as the follow-up. And there's the pylon. We spoke about it, how Firefly was going for the Max Packs opener, which means what reaction do we get out of Strange? The reaction is a one base all-in. Now, Firefly should be aware that this is a possibility. He hasn't confirmed yet, but I'm sure he is prepared to respond to that kind of scenario. And there it is. Proxy Robo here from Strange. Stalkers are moving out across the map as we speak. Firefly does not go for a Stargate. He's going for a gateway into Robo. Interesting. Now, with this defensive Robo, we're going to be seeing Immortal versus Immortal. Usually, Max Packs would have a much earlier Stargate, which leads to much earlier Void Rays to be secure. So this is going to be a bit of a more dicey defense from Firefly. We're going to cut it close. Second shield battery gets thrown down. Sentries trading with the Stalkers. Again, Sentries have been buffed as of late. They do bonus damage to shield units. Bonus damage to shields. So they're able to pose a greater threat to these Stalkers. No longer do they have tickle beams in PvP. No longer. They can actually do damage. Meanwhile, Strange going for a Warp Prism first, not an Immortal. Interesting. With the Warp Prism, we can reinforce. We can also juggle back our units, basically defensive blink. We can also drop into the main. So a lot of flexibility here with the Prism first, followed by the Immortal. Prism is going to slip into the main base. Late reaction out of Firefly. Does spot this. Does have a little bit of time here to react. Shield battery is done. We do focus down one probe. One probe does fall. You can see Firefly diving on the Prism. Is bleeding out a lot of probes, though. That was 5 probes going down. Does strip away the shields of the Warp Prism, but that was worth it for Strange. It's good damage. Strange not losing anything, and he does even up the economy. Even take a lead in the economy as well. Meanwhile, the Immortal's about to pop out. We do throw down some force fields. We do catch some of these Adepts. Very nice. Ooh, but we lose one of the sentries. Oof. Was this worth it? Can we catch the sentries? And it looks like we do trade 2 for 2. Both players, they bleed out 2 sentries. We threaten to shade towards the natural. Strange elevatoring into the main. And we do have a shield battery in position. We can support this. We're going for the Prism. Big snipe. Prism goes down. We fall back to the shield battery, but we bleed out another Stalker. Firefly in a lot of trouble. Force the overcharge. We do have a second Immortal, and it looks like Firefly, he should barely be able to hold on. Does lose one Immortal, but he pulls back to the shield battery. We do defend. The Immortal survives. And there's no way out of here. There's no way out of the main base. Firefly, he traps Strange. Forced to recall. And again, there is no backup Warp Prism. We're going for the Immortal. It's so close to going down. One more volley, and we do get it. The Immortal falls. We have one Immortal left on the way. The other, I believe, was recalled. It's racing on over from across the map. Firefly being very proactive here, very bold. Ooh. Almost gets the Immortal, getting very low. As Firefly does assert his dominance. That second Immortal has arrived. We focus down the first, though. We depower the robot. We depower the gateways. Adepts say shade in, but we're ready for them. We're in position. And Firefly, he's in full control of this. He weathered the storm. Shut down the all-in. GG gets called, and Firefly takes game number 1. GG. Oh, solid game there. Out of Firefly, able to take that game, able to survive against the all-in. And again, because of his build, I'm sure he was expecting an all-in. He was, in a way, baiting the all-in out. Did bait it out in the end. Ooh, and now we're getting ready for game number 2. Firefly fighting back for his team, fighting back for Offside. Strange, it's his map of choice. Oh, and his map is Alcyone. Let's go. In the top right-hand corner, we have Strange. Oh, Firefly? In the top right, we have Strange for Mr. Gaming. In the bottom left, we have Firefly. They messed up the graphics a little bit there, but yeah, bottom left is Firefly, top right is Strange. Here we go. Now the question becomes, here on Alcyone, a much larger map, a much more macro map, do we go for another max packs opener? Do we go for another gate expand? Do we try to bait out an all-in for a second time? My eyes are on Firefly. On both players, really. We shall see. Probe is moving out across the map. Inside of Firefly. Has set up his gateway. So far, everything looking as it should. It does look like we're going for 2 gate openers across the board. Assuming we're about to throw down a second gateway. There it is. The second gateway gets thrown down for Firefly. And it gets thrown down for Strange. So 2 gate opener versus 2 gate opener. A much more standard setup here in this PvP. Which means suddenly, if Firefly wanted to, he could go all in as well. He could be the aggressor. He could be. You can see Strange moving out with his probe, looking to hide his pylon, I imagine. There it is. So he's going to be hiding his second pylon. This makes it look like he's committing to a proxy. And because of how large Alcyone is, because how large this map is, it's difficult for a player like Firefly to scout and confirm what's going on. Ooh, as he goes for the counter pylon in the main. Oh my god. Firefly reading or seeing Strange's build and calling his bluff. He knows that the pylon is missing, by the way, and he's like, mate, I didn't care. I'm just gonna whoop it in your base, in your face. Oh my god. Now we'll see if Strange checks. Hopefully he does, but we'll see. Again, Alcyone is a large map, likewise has a large main. Has a large base. Strange slipping in, getting a probe scout off, does confirm that the pylons are where they should be, at least the second pylon is. Second and third. Yeah, the army's moving out. The pylon is up and running. Once Warp Gate finishes, then we can warp in right into the heart of Strange's bases. Right into his main. And we can focus down probes. We're waiting for the adepts. That is what we were waiting for. Oh boy. And more time is passing, which means we have more time here for Strange to figure out what's going on, to come across it. It's going to be a Twilight Council opener out of Strange. Both players expanding. Hallucination confirms that there's nothing really out of the norm. Likewise, Hallucination coming in from Firefly. We'll get eyes on the tech, I imagine. Yep, does confirm the Twilight Council. You can see that Firefly's own Twilight Council is a little bit delayed, but they're both on the way. They are merely seconds apart. Warp Gate is now done. Gateways are finishing up, and there it is. We're warping in 2 adepts right into the main base of Strange. And Strange has no idea. And 2 adepts, they one-shot workers. They one-shot probes. They are slipping in. Strange out of position. We get into the main base. Oh my god. Yeah, the boys, they have to be pulled. We get 2, 3, 4, 5 probes. We're gonna get 6. Are we gonna get 7? Oh my god, an insane amount of economic damage done here. 8, 9, 10. 10 probes go. We're gonna get 11. Not 12, but 11 probes go down. Well worth it here for Firefly. The pylon has been found. We can shut it down, but it is already paid for itself. It's more than paid for itself. Especially considering that it drags the entire army back home. Ay, ay, ay. And meanwhile, across the map, Blink is, again, on the way. We have the Robo in production as well for Firefly. Strange is now pushing, but he is... yeah, looking to recover. Wait. Are the... hold on. Who's who? I need to get a read on this. Because it says Firefly is red. But Strange, he likes going for the pylon. Yep, there it is. Yeah, they just switched. They just switched. As soon as I saw the worker count, I was like, hold up. This feels like the roles have been reversed. It feels like the supplies are not what they should be. That was Strange slipping into the main base of Firefly. There we go. They just changed the color. Shaking my head. They just changed the colors over. When I was looking at the UI, I was like, the numbers don't add up. I'm like, I'm pretty sure we should be down in workers. So Firefly is forced all in. It was Strange killing all those workers with the pylon. Firefly going to be forced all in. He does commit across the map. Good force fields. Oh my god. Good force fields, but he does not have enough to break through. So basically, Firefly, he's the one who has to commit. He is expanding behind this. Third Nexus is on the way for Firefly. So winding it back, basically, the players had the wrong colors on them and they were in the wrong place, but now they have been switched over. Third base is being taken. Quickly taking stock here. Strange is ahead in workers. He did kill a lot. It's got a lot done here with that proxy pylon. Meanwhile, Firefly has to recover. Both players have Blink. Both players have similar timings with their forges. We have Strange going for the faster Immortal. Strange is ahead. Straight up. Strange is ahead, and he's looking to tie up this series. As a reminder, it's a best of 2, not a best of 3. Firefly was bamboozled. As soon as I saw the worker disparity, by the way, it clicked in my brain that not just that the players had switched, they're like, oh, Strange, he likes going for proxy pylons. like that's like a trait that he has as a player. Like it all just came flooding back. It's like I had a brain blast. But here we go. Third bases are on the way. Now, as we're settling into our 3-base setup here, the question becomes, do we stabilize? Strange, he's ahead, but he needs to make use of that. He needs to make use of his lead. If we're a little bit too passive, then Firefly will recover. And we're pushing. There we go. We have the Immortal lead. We have the Immortal advantage. Okay, it looks like we're only just fighting for control of the Zonaga. Behind this, we still have upgrades on the way. Doesn't make sense. Strange doesn't want to hit an anti-timing. But Strange has that much more complex army here with those Immortals. Firefly is stuck on purely a gateway army. Now, with Firefly only with Blink Stalkers and Charge Lots, he has a more mobile composition, and it's on Firefly to out-control and out-position his opponent's army. What I'm referring to is counterattacks, it's run-bys, being active on the map, forcing back Strange. We'll see what Firefly can do. Like, as we just saw there, we were able to pick up a couple of units, a sentry, a Stalker here and there. Did happen. Push in. Forcing Strange back. Meanwhile, Strange getting to another... Is that like a 5th Immortal? Jesus, that is so many Immortals. Okay, a 4th Immortal. Temple Archives is on the way for Archon production. Is on the way. Now, Firefly is rushing into the gold. The gold is about to finish, and the gold is a good way to bounce back. The gold base will be a good way to just pay things off, to recover, to catch back up in the economy. But we need time for that to actually come into play. We need time for that gold base to mine. Until then, Strange does still maintain a massive army supply lead. And I feel like Strange doesn't have to wait that much longer. I feel like he doesn't have to wait. Maybe one more Immortal and then we can push. But for now, Strange is still staying in between his bases, waiting for his moment. Firefly threatening a counterattack. Checking the right-hand side base. Does dip in. Gets a pylon. Gets two zealots, gets out of there. Good pickoffs. Firefly doesn't lose anything. And this is what he needs to do. You know, pick off a unit here and there. Building here or there. Blinking back in as Strange moves out. This is what we spoke about. How Firefly's army is more mobile. Gets High Templar. And probes. Very nicely done. And from here we can just blink away. Ooh, I say that. A bit of miscontrol. 2 Stalkers go down. Every Stalker counts. When you're behind. Every unit matters. And here we go. Strange. He's been pinned back a little bit, but now he's pushing. And I'm not so certain that Firefly can stop this push. We have Immortals, we have Archons. That's 5 Immortals. Jesus. That's a lot of Immortals. Overcharges Pop Cells coming in from behind. Archons push forward. The Archon of Strange out of position. This is the best case scenario for Firefly. The overcharge coming in clutch here, putting in a lot of work, but it may still not be enough. The Immortals, they all survive. And the Immortals are going to town on these Stalkers. Yeah, so many Stalkers get targeted down. Reinforcements have arrived as well. And Strange, he overwhelms. Again, that was maybe the best fight that Firefly could have hoped for, and it still was not enough. With that massive Immortal lead, Strange is going to be able to take this. And GG gets called. Strange ties up the series 1-1 and extends the lead here of Mystery Gaming. GG. GG, well played. Whew, Strange. Cheeky with that pylon in the main base of Firefly, able to pop off, able to get so much damage done, able to snowball out of control, and with that led into his better economy. What did he spend it on? On the better army, faster robo, immortal production, third base. It all just snowballed out of control, faster upgrades as well. And with that, the pressure is now on uThermal. uThermal is coming up next versus Coffee. And I'm concerned because looking at these lineups, I felt like Rex versus Cyan and Firefly versus Strange would be close, or those are the best opportunities for Offside to take leads. Here, Coffee's been looking very impressive. As of late, Coffee has been on fire. He's been looking damn scary, even contesting against Oliveira. This is not going to be easy for uThermal. It's not going to be an easy series. As a reminder, uThermal is a random player, and he's coming up next against Coffee. Oh boy. The pressure is on. Can uThermal bounce back for himself and for his team? Now, a lot of this is going to come down to his race, as here we go. He's rolling random, and in the top right-hand corner, rolling Protoss. It is uThermal for Offside. And in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have for Mystery Gaming, Coffee. Here we go. Now again, uThermal, he has been competing as random for the past year. Does compete as random, and the reality is that some of his races are stronger than others. His Zerg is his weakest, I would say. His Terran is his strongest, and his Protoss is in the middle. And usually whenever he rolls Protoss or Zerg, we usually see all-ins. It's usually very aggressive and all-in play, even with his Terran as well. Like, he's a very spicy player. It's very aggressive, very all-in, very cheesy. He can play macro. I think he usually plays macro and TBT. Like, I think TBT is like where he settles into like a macro, like mid-game and late game. But we'll see how he approaches this matchup. Now, what's important here, especially because uThermal was a Terran for so long, is that his versus Terran matchups are ideal. Like, that's his best matchups when it comes to his off races. Like, PVT and ZVT. Like, he knows what works and what doesn't. He has a good idea on what can be abusable as well. So, this is a good opportunity for uThermal to bounce back. I would have preferred his Terran against Coffee, but we'll settle for his Protoss. Meanwhile, behind this is going to be an economic opener from Coffee. Very economic opener, going for a Rax expand. We have the bunker being thrown down in the mineral line. uThermal trying to shut this down. Does have 2 probes, 1 on either side. And it looks like we should deny the bunker. SCV is going to go down, and the bunker is going to be cancelled. Now, the Reaper is still on the way, but alas, there's not going to be a bunker for it. Yeah, the bunker is cancelled. Reaper slips in. Good defense here by uThermal. Very nice defense. As Coffee gets 1 probe in the main base, going for a second. He wants a second, but he will not get it. The Stalker comes out just in time. We shut down the Stalker. Sorry, we shut down the Reaper as well. Good cleanup from uThermal. Very nicely done. Only losing 1 probe, that could have been so much worse. And behind this, uThermal going for a Twilight Council follower. Interesting. Now, with this Twilight Council, it should be Blink. But how many gateways? On a map like Ghost River, I would not be opposed to at least 3, maybe 4 gates. I feel like 2-gate Blink is too risky on this map. It sounds crazy, but we'll see what uThermal embraces. For now, 2nd gateway is on the way. So for now, it is 2-gate Blink. And there it is. There's the 3rd gateway on the way. So 3-gate Blink from uThermal. And we could go up to 4. As I mentioned before, I'm happy with 3 gateways, but we could go up to 4 here just to double down. Just 3-gate Blink into a 3rd. We haven't thrown down a Robo, by the way. So without a Robo, I imagine we're going to be expanding. Imagine this is going to lead into a 3rd. Here we go. As for now, Hellion is going to be forced back. We're setting up into our 2-1-1. Or even 3-1-1 setup. A Jet does shade in. We get a full scout of the main base. We get a full read on the build. Ravens are on the way. Tank production has commenced. Getting into our 2-1-1 setup. And uThermal again, he should be expanding. There it is. A 3rd Nexus is thrown down. As we mentioned, there was no Robo. There was no 4th gateway. No way to really be assertive on the map. Just very defensive here from uThermal. Just playing safe. So is just going to play it safe here. Behind this, now we get the Robo on the way. Coffee's still building up. Stalkers are finally going to be poking across the map, but we take a tank shot to the face. Good tank positioning from Coffee. Gets a volley off. Maintaining his position. 3rd Rax is in production for Coffee. Stim is on the way, and we should soon be pushing with that Stim, with those tanks. Now, whether or not Coffee goes for a 2-base all-in, that's going to be the next big question. I'm not feeling a 2-base all-in just because of the build, just because we didn't prioritize the Raxes and we did prioritize the Starport instead. On the flip side, that Raven is gathering energy. It's gathering energy to harass. Never mind. The Raven is skirting around the northern portion of the map. It's skirting around the edge, and it's going straight for the natural base, going for some auto-target harass instead. Stalkers are in position. Good blink here from uThermal. We chase down the Raven. We do bleed out a Stalker and a Probe. Good trade for uThermal. Like, a Raven is worth so much more than just 1 Probe and 1 Stalker. So good defense here from uThermal. 3rd CC's on the way. Yeah, as we mentioned, when it comes to the build order of Coffee, it doesn't really lend to a 2-base all-in. So 3rd CC's on the way. So Coffee is taking the slow. Slow and steady from Coffee. Is going to break out. Is going to expand. And uThermal behind this is getting into Colossi. So far it's been pretty passive. I mean, I say pretty passive. Like, uThermal's build was very defensive, but Coffee wasn't being aggressive. That's what's important here. So because of that, uThermal wasn't as greedy as he could have been. Does have the probe lead. Tanks are getting in position. Trying to at least. The Colossus has arrived. Good splits against the mine. Very nicely done there by uThermal. Tank volleys are going up. Coffee applying a lot of pressure here to the third. The tank is getting low though. And we're going to try and focus down. We get one tank. Oh, but we're running out of stalkers. We dive on the Colossi. The Colossus goes down. And uThermal looks like he does not have enough to defend. No shield battery, no overcharge. Ay, ay, ay. GG gets called. And Coffee, as he breaks out, as he expands and takes the third base, he shuts uThermal down. GG, well played. And with that, Coffee will take the win here. And he will win this series for Mystery Gaming. GG, well played. Again, some rough earlier games there, earlier maps for Offside did make things a little bit awkward, kind of getting our footing, especially with the Rex series. Like Rex game number 1, I'm still thinking about it. I still think about it even now. Rex game 1 versus Cyan, it was so close. Alas, with that win, I believe Coffee is going to be securing the win for his team, but we will still play out game 2. And game 2 is going to be on Amphion. Here we go. In the bottom left-hand corner, we have uThermal for Offside. And in the top left, we have his opponent Coffee for Mystery Gaming. Here we go. Yeah, Mystery Gaming, they will take it in the end. And uThermal, he rolls Protoss, and he rolls as random, and he rolls Protoss once again. Here we go. Problem is that Coffee is very well versed against Protoss. Protoss is the dominant race in his region. Yes, it's Coffee and Oliveira is the reigning world champion, but there's players like Maxa, Jeshi, Cyan, Firefly, Nice, Haas. There's so much Protoss presence in the Asia region, and Coffee has been refining his TVP quite well over the past couple of years. Here we go. We do have Coffee lamenting. He's like, oh, it's same race, Smoge, Papi Smoge. TVP to Imba, Papi. True. uThermal complimenting Coffee. Feels good, man. Feels good. No malice between the players. The camaraderie. Now, Coffee's going for another economic build. He's going for a Rax Expand. Yep, economic opener here out of Coffee. uThermal is going for a gate expand into Cybercore as well. So everything looking normal. Is uThermal off racing? No, he's random, so he's main racing, I guess. uThermal's main race is random nowadays. But here we go. Reaper is moving out, getting in between the bases. Going to be getting a scat off, gets into the mineral line, and we do get one probe kill. One probe goes down. Can we get another? Uh-oh. uThermal needs to wait a little bit longer for his Reaper, sorry, for his Adept to come out. And a second probe will fall. Adept has arrived. We can finally shut this down. But not before losing 2 workers. As one more shot, is all we need. What a mess. We should be able to complete the shade, but we do get up the ramp. Coffee lives. He's going for another probe. Can he get it? So much lost mine time, by the way. So much lost mine time in the main base. The Reaper does survive, does regenerate its HP. The Adept still chasing him down, and Coffee will finally get out. And will actually get out as well. Rough defense there from uThermal. Again, in game 1, he was looking impressive in the early game. Here in game 2, rougher start. Dead workers, lost mining time, the escaped Reaper. Now, looking at our tech of choice, we're going for a Stargate opener this time, so not going to be Blink, it's going to be Oracles. Interesting. Okay, so it looks like we're not investing into Phoenixes. It's going to be Oracle into either charge or blink as the follow-up. Oracle's moving out. But Kofi's playing safe. He has a Cyclone on the way. Marines should be in position as we slip into the mineral line. Show us the mineral line! Copy. Reaper does scouts. Show us the main. As we maybe get one SCV. Yeah, it looks like one SCV went down. Only one. Cyclone does get here just in time. And Kofi does defend. Kofi does end up defending. Meanwhile, we have the drop across the map. I mean, we had the revelation, so we did see it coming ahead of time. Good control out of Kofi. We do have the Oracle getting into the natural. One SCV goes down, but the Cyclone's in position. As we start to step forward, we take down the Adepts, and Probes are going down. GG gets called just like that as Kofi snowballs out of control. We barely even get to get into the game itself. Kofi just picking uThermal apart left and right with a handful of units. Bearing in mind as well that uThermal, he had a revelation on the medevac. He saw the push coming, but it wasn't just the push. It was also, I believe, uThermal lost his Oracle across the map as well. Did fall to the Cyclone. And again, Kofi showing why he is the ace player of Mystery Gaming and why he was favored coming into this. GG. GG, well played. A solid performance there from Kofi. And with that, Mystery Gaming will take it 5-1. GG, well played. Up next, we have our next match. It's going to be Planet